Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Ah, hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Buongiorno. Bonjour. Ciao. Hola. Guten Abend. Good Abend. And in Norfolkese, Yoriba. Well, I hope anyone who happens to turn up or is watching this on replay, thanks replay crew, has had a good week. I will leave discussing what happened here until a bit later on when there's actually some people here, because it's just me at the moment and may nobody else turn up. Oh well, never mind. If nobody turns up, then this will be one of my shorter streams. If people do turn up, then we'll go for the full 2 hours, unless I black out. So while we're waiting for people to file in an orderly manner, or a disorderly manner is more likely, how has your week been? Let me know down below. What's the dumbest injury you've ever given yourself? Again, let me know. Also, what leaves, other than the ones available to purchase as aquarium botanicals, would you use in a black water tank? Stick that down below as well if you're watching on replay. If not, stick it in the chat. Hello, Debs. Oh, I'm J9HN today. Ooh, I've been promoted. How are you, my dear? Hope all is well with you. Hope you've not been doing anything silly like me. So yes. We are back to doing Sharpie moments. We are back to random dumb injuries. So, yay. Normality has resumed. And I've not killed anything this week either, so that's always a bonus. We do have new babies, but thankfully they're new babies that aren't a problem. They can be left where they are. So I don't need to clear another tank for any new babies. Just shell dwellers, that's all. Just a bunch more baby shell dwellers have rocked up, so yay. Guessing I didn't sell all the males or all the females. Oh, don't shake your head, Sharp, that hurts. So yes, as some of you may or may not be aware, yesterday, Saturday, this being a Sunday, I believe, I managed to fall up the stairs. Yeah, a Sharpie thing to do. Even through the falling downstairs, you get that the wrong way around. I managed to crack my head on the baluster as I went down up the top. Oh, last injury was 2018 in Turkey. One too many. Smashed the ball in my right arm. Ow. Yeah, yes, ow. Hello, Arctic Aquarist. Good to see new names here. Unless you've obviously changed your name and you were someone else beforehand. In which case, welcome back. If you are new, I tried to keep things PG, although there will be smoking and drinking of energy drinks and probably some crude humour. If there isn't any crude humour, then people will know there's something wrong with me. thankfully, me being me, I've concussed myself so many times in the past that I don't even bother getting it checked out anymore. It doesn't feel like anything's broken, so we're okay. It'll just be fun at work tomorrow, that's all. Thankfully, I'm only on a short shift. The cycle ride in might be amusing. Cycling while concussed is always fun. Yella, how you doing? Waves to Yella out the back door as he's hiding in my back garden. Change name every week, trying to dodge subs. A worthy reason. I've changed mine a couple of times over the years. Just reflect as I move through different periods of hobbying. I think the fish is the one I'm probably going to stick with the longest. Oh, Yella's farting at me. Or were you watching me earlier? Yeah, Debs does the fall up things. I'm just glad I didn't do it at work because they would probably have panicked and either sent me to the hospital or call an ambulance or, usual things they do with head injuries. I mean, it bled well, so that always looks worse than it actually is. But hey, we've done worse. Then the upside today, sold 100 fishies, so with a bit of jiggery pokery in during the week as I'm doing water changes and whatever, I should be able to clear out that little tank and that little tank, and then put the 2 breeder boxes full of bristle noses that I've got still in those. Then we'll be clear. Well, I would say have fun moving snow, but I know how unfun that is. But good to see you. Welcome. Hope to see you again. Vinoksky Fish Koto, welcome, sir. Been a while. Hope all is well with thou. It's always good to see new people or people you've not seen for a while. Sometimes you start wondering, is that person still actually doing YouTube, or are they still keeping fish, or are they even alive? As I say, there's been a couple that I've not seen, but for quite a while. But I do keep in contact with them outside of YouTube, so I know they're okay. For anyone that was wondering, yes, Amber is fine. She's doing great at Big City Betters. Moving onwards and upwards. I'm trying to think, is there anyone else that is well known that people might not have heard from? But yeah, it's not a good idea for me to think too hard right now, so I'll try and avoid it. Oh, good thing. This bloody chair has been retired. There's another bit of it broke last week during the stream, so literally about 15 minutes ago, I thought, hang on, I've got one I used to use. Sure, I've got one I used to use for fishing sometimes. And given how clean this is, I mean, it's got dust on it because it's been sat in my spare room for however many years, probably 5 or 6 years at this point. I don't actually think I've even used this before. There's got no evidence of fishing bait on it or sweat marks or anything nasty, and none of it's broken. Hence, I'm sitting about 4 or 6 inches higher than I was last week. I was damn near sat on the floor with that one because it's just dead. So there we go. Pardon me. Carry on as we mean to continue. Start as we mean to carry on even. Very good video this week. Better at night with the English fog. It would be, but yeah, I don't particularly want to be going up there at night again. Last time I went to Norwich at night, there was copious amounts of alcohol involved. Yeah, that long ago. Not allowed to retract our own messages. Oh dear. Yeah, so that one, the Friday video, has done about as well as expected. Hardly any views. Showing that the great public, general public, is more interested in seeing things go wrong than go well. Monday's video about the Pleckicide is nearer 1,600 views than 16, which Friday's video is nearer. So yeah. Daytime light for anything horror is not the best time to shoot. It gets expensive for movie lighting though. Well, I'm not doing horror. I'm just reporting paranormal phenomena and history as they are. There's no need to try and up the scare factor because it's not scary. If I haven't said hello Sky, how are you? Yes, my memory is even worse than usual because I've been beating myself up again. Oof, actually, yeah, it's starting to get a headache again. Have to nick some tablets once we're done here, if not during. Exactly. My face on camera is scary enough. And yeah, I'll say, I think a lot of how the paranormal is perceived is down to the individual, down to what they're scared of, and down to how they've acted, shall we put it. Oh, Danny boy. How you doing, Dan? Better than me, I hope. So yes, for the newbies, yes, I fell upstairs and cracked my head on the baluster. Minor concussion, nothing to worry about, just general Sharpie stuff. Yeah. Just completely missed the step. Went, well, face planted pretty much into the baluster. Yeah, it is a great shooting location. It's a beautiful street. One end of it is basically 1970s concrete grey. Bleh. You go out the other end and you're in the cathedral quarter. So, yeah, well, you're down on Tombland, basically. Tombland so named because, yeah, and literally Elm Hill is a couple of 100 yards from the cathedral, which might be the next video. Am I working? No, I'm off Friday, so yeah, I can upload a longer video Friday. Right now, palette snapped a bit off because I was still holding the hammer. Oh, we are not worthy. We are not worthy. At least, people around, so you couldn't blame a seagull again. I laugh. I'm sure you laugh at me. Grayscaling would work good on that street. A lot of contrast. Yeah. Grace. I love how we call it grayscaling these days. I mean, just black and white is basically what it is. Because some of us are old enough to remember black and white TVs. I bet you laughed at yourself once you finished swearing. I, I did. Once I figured out that I hadn't actually fractured my skull or anything and stopped it bleeding everywhere, my first thought was, oh, Christ, how am I going to explain this one at work? Yeah, have a week off work, come back in the next week more beat up and worn out than I was before I started. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just so long as they don't try putting me on light duties. And to be brave in front of the kids, bump coming out like something out of a road runner cartoon. Yeah, this is as much as I generally swell. I mean, no, there is a slight swelling there, but nothing noticeable. Howdy, Scotty Aquati. Caca, caca. Yeah, got a bit of a skull throb, but I'll be all right. There's nothing I'm not used to. I'm not sure whether it's because I've done it so many times or whether because I've done it so many times, I can't remember how many times I've had concussion. I'm not sure whether that's a good or a bad thing. Patty, my dear, how are you? Like rascally spirit dodger. I'm more of a salad dodger than a spirit dodger. Unless we're talking alcohol spirits, then I dodge those very well. I don't need to be drunk to do a dumb. Yeah, so I mean, on the list of interesting cranial injuries. That's not your best one, Dan, is it? Come on, we're getting dive bombed by a seagull probably takes the win there. Although smacking yourself in the head with a hammer is pretty impressive. I think mine was having a hook bend straight and a 1 ounce swim feeder come flying back and cracking me in the side. Pretty much exactly there when I was fishing. So yeah, 1 ounce of lead just flying back like a ballistic missile into the side of my head. That one did make me see stars. That one sat me down on my butt hard. Mostly because they didn't want to topple forward and end up in the lake unconscious. I wonder how many fishermen have had that happen. Screwed myself to a fence once right through the finger. Yeah, I've nailed myself or stapled myself to things before. Yeah. Although thankfully it's been wet all this week because I did buy an electric hedge trimmer to sort out the yeah. So thankfully it's been wet, so I've not used that because otherwise who knows what injuries could happen. In the Screwfix Black Friday sale. Um, Plus staff discount, so I wasn't going to say no. It means I might actually get out there and do it. Balls! How you doing, George? Yeah, George, that's the one, I think. I get confused. Drop the drill to shout to one of the neighbours came and said, you can unscrew yourself. Yeah, I can imagine that, yeah. Oh, oh, now I can't reach the bloody drill. Oh, bugger. Saw George last night and Joseph's tropical tanks. I'm sure George was streaming as well. It was either yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. I think a notification came up while I was in the middle of doing walk changes. Something like that. I was doing tanky type stuff anyway. But yeah, so what do we? So yeah, today got rid of. I say got rid of. Sold 50 common bristly noses, 20 super reds, 20 Limia perugiae, and 10 Polychromis subocellatus. Believe or like, or you'll be cursed to death and eternal damnation. Yes, exactly. Or I will send Father Ignatius your way, and he will curse you to death and damnation. And for most people, Father Ignatius is probably scarier than me, especially if you're a teenage boy. If you've not seen the video, yeah. The church doing what the church does. In this case, yes, featuring Father Ignatius. I can't remember what his actual name was. It wasn't anything anywhere as cool sounding as that. Basically, the watching it back involved pressing play and going, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I did have plenty of flashbacks walking down that street from my time at college, spending an inordinate amount of time in the games room. I'm going to take a day trip to Sacramento in a little bit. I hope they get the full wrath of the Wookiee. Oh no, Sacramento. Oh, I don't know. trying to think of bands from Sacramento. I know there's some, but and Chewy probably reel out a list of about 300. About 290 most of us haven't heard of. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, Sky. Yeah, it's a strange week when an actual video gets more views than a short does. Especially when it gets triple the views. It's like, what? What's going on there? Yes. So where else? What else? Hey, oh, Mikey! Yo, Mickey! Hey, Mikey! I can't do the accent, so I don't know why I even bothered trying. That was a Goonies quote for reference. So yes, where are we? Hey, you guys! Danny got it. Well, we're a similar-ish age. I've got a few years on him, but you know, if I do the truffle shuffle because I can, I mean, I can do it vertically rather than horizontally. If I was to do that, I would probably get cancelled. Ain't nobody want to see I'm. If you think this is white, you should see the bits that never see the sun. And yeah, and so white, pasty, scarred, hairy. It's not good. Schmitty! Bloody hell. How you doing, Schmitty? So I haven't seen you on Xbox for ages. Reason you've not seen me on Xbox for ages is my old Xbox deadified and I couldn't recover the account because it was attached to a phone I no longer have and an email I can no longer access. So I had to start a new account. And yeah, I don't play on console basically anymore. These days it's I keep fishies pretty much. I buy some fishies, I make more fishies, I sell fishies. It kind of works out. Hope you're doing good too. So it's been a while. When it comes to people who have known me for a long time, there are many people who have known me for longer than Schmitty has. Actually, that right there is the one person who can confirm that I got kicked out of history class in school for farting. Because he was the poor bastard that was sat next to me. Lucky's doing great, Sky. He's trundling around in the pond along with Baldrick and Watson, Holmes, and Moriarty. Yeah. Okay, so how the devil did you find my channel? I got kicked out of geography trying to compete. That was hilarious. Oh, was that Mr. Fenner? Yeah, it was Mr. Fenner's, weren't it? Who kicked you out. When I took history class, it was like the 80s with British. What the British did to people. Oh, geez. Yeah, it was a. If you didn't or hadn't guessed, Schmitty and I went to school together. Way back in the 80s and very early 90s. But yeah, good times, I think. I think I've blocked most of it out of my mind, other than the amusing parts. But yeah, you should have known you could never keep up with me with egg mayonnaise sandwiches. Stevie P, how you doing, younger bro? And Eddie, darling, how are you? So, Schmitty, how the devil did you find my blooming channel? That's what I want to know. Were you just randomly surfing YouTube looking for live streams and thought, who the hell? What? I recognise that face. Piccalilli, yes. Yeah, it could well have been the Piccalilli sandwiches that day. Might have been, yeah. It was either eggs or Piccalilli. One of those. Very toxic. And they've not got much worse, so much better over the years. If anything, they have got worse. I have actually caused people to vomit. Yeah. Yes. Attended school. Haunted the bike shed. Yeah, well, there was plenty of being around the back of the bike sheds doing this. Back in the days when I could actually run. These days, if someone caught me, I wouldn't even bother. It came up on Facebook, probably related to fish. It might have been only if you're friends with Lily Langtree. because she did bring me the injured goldfish that a cat decided to catch out of someone's pond. That was quite an epic tale. That's the lucky we were talking about a minute ago. Oh, pardon me. See, still windy. Yeah. Have I ever been to a big band rehearsal? What band would you like to see that close in a rehearsal space? I've not really been to a big band rehearsal because we didn't do band at school, because none of us were dumb enough to want to play any of those instruments. What band would I like to see close in a rehearsal space? Probably Nightwish. Yeah, I mean, even if it weren't for the music, just I would pay to just watch Floor Jansen bounce on a trampoline. So, you know, not that I'm a perv or anything. Hence, we still have the Floorgasm t-shirt on this week. Oh yeah, the country dancing. Oh my god. Oh god, don't. That's something I did block out of my bloody mind. That one. Yeah, back when the drama budget for the school was essentially zero. Michael Schenker Group rehearses in Brighton. Yeah, I'd rather not go to Brighton if I could help it. Not only do I have relatives down that way, but there are other reasons that you don't go to Brighton. Good at swinging his part. That's the thing with country dancing, you don't have a partner. It's a kind of group event where everyone has to know all the steps, or otherwise it just goes completely pear-shaped. And you end up walking into each other. And Brighton used to rock according to Queen. Yeah, it's kind of like line dancing or Morris dancing or any of them folk things. Yeah, it's just best avoided. I'm probably, World of Warships is missing me. Oh, bless. Um, yeah, there's one less target, one less light cruiser to get destroyed. Yeah. Um, yes, when you're playing World of Warships and all your destroyers are hiding behind the battleships who are hiding behind islands, so you and your little light cruiser have to go out and find something to shoot at. And then you get deleted. Yeah, Brighton is interesting. When you think line dancing, you hear "Achy Breaky Heart" by Billy Ray Cyrus. Then you start tying the noose. Yeah, band rehearsals, you get to see the technique close up. One I have enjoyed seeing is Winter Sun did a set of videos of their live rehearsals from Sonic Pump Studios. And yeah, that's kind of impressive. Seeing what Kai Harter can do when he's not constrained by Nightwish music, when he's allowed to go completely ham, doing blast beats for like 2.5 minutes non-stop. Yeah, so it's trying to think, the last time I would have played World of Warships would have been early part of this year, perhaps. Maybe sort of February time, something like that. Because obviously I also lost my entire World of Warships account. And having to start that all over again when you had all the ships unlocked is a nightmare. It's like starting a game of something like Forza Motorsport again or Gran Turismo from scratch, except it takes a lot longer to grind out everything. So what happened to the side of my head? Well, what happened was I tripped upstairs, fell up the stairs, and cracked my head on the baluster. Yeah, concussed myself, nearly knocked myself out. Just the usual. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. There was copious amounts of swearing involved in both situations. But thankfully, I normally sleep on my right-hand side or my front and right, so I don't have to lay on it at least. You know, I did roll over last night and woke myself up very quickly. The roll over in your sleep. Oh, jeez, ow! Yeah, pillow is too hard. And it is just below the level of where a baseball cap goes as well, so we're safe there. And yes, I have tied my hair up, purely so I don't have to keep going like that to put it back and keep catching my head. But, you know, that, and it was easier for catching the fish this morning, not getting hair in your face while you're trying to count fish. Yes, just better that way. The Italian Chiclet Association Zoom meetings are returning on November the 28th. Result: I won't be there. Nothing against the Italian Cichlid organisation, but it's a kind of thing that's not really for me on a personal taste and what I enjoy doing kind of level. I'll probably be either asleep or at work, to be honest. What are we today? The 20th, so next Saturday the 28th? Can't remember. I don't have any problems at all with Italians. I mean, I don't speak the language, for one, which makes life really interesting. And I mean, I know more ancient Italian than I do modern Italian, which is kind of an issue. Possibly not when you're talking about fish. Also, I'm not really what you'd call a cichlid specialist. I mean, yeah, I've got cichlids in most of my tanks, but they're generally not the kind that people who are into cichlids would like to talk about. You know? Hello, Marit, my darling. How are you? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hope you're well, my dear. Yeah, I think about the rarest cichlids I've probably got are the Nanakara that are in there for now. Part of my long-term plan is moving those. They will be going into a blackwater tank, and hopefully they'll breed in there. Yeah, I mean, I do like dwarf cichlids. And the Shelleys are cool, the Cribs, the Epistos, the Nanakaras. I've got all of those are cool. Rams are cool. When people start getting onto fish that are more than about 6 inches long, I just completely zone out and lose interest because I'm not going to have a tank that's big enough for them ever. So, you know. It's kind of like having someone who keeps monster fish in a nano group. Shows on Central Americans, which includes some peaceful cichlids. Yeah, there are some peaceful cichlids from Central America. You got a cold, I got a concussion. Let's call the whole thing off. Meetings are translated to English. I'll see if I'm not doing anything. I'll remember. I'll have a look. Have a look. See. I managed to fall upstairs and smack my head on the baluster. That's what I did. Now I had a Sharpie moment. Nothing new. It's just been a while since I had one. Make sure the Nanakara's out and about. Oh, there's Missy. Hello, Missy. Where's Mr. Gorgeous Lemmy gone? Oh, we got more baby Lemmias swimming around in there as well. Oh dear. Surprised Marco's not here. Yeah, if we fell up the stairs together, Marrett, yeah, I'm not going to go there. Ironically, I was actually on my way to get in the bath, so yeah, that stung a bit when I dunked my head under the water. Nice hot water with a Radox. Well, let's just call it bubble bath. So yeah, that really stung when I dunked my head under. But there we go. Yeah, got a lump of something stuck in my throat that won't move. Probably a lung. All right, Marco's probably having his. Let's go with dinner about now. Dinner and a glass of wine. Yeah, cleaned it all up. Mop the blood up. At least I finally catches something on my channel that went bump in the night. Yeah, one of these days. I mean, there's been a couple of live streams where Zach has made an appearance. Not actually on screen. Speak of the devil, ciao Marco, how you doing? Buongiorno. Yeah, he knocked my lighter out of my lap once. He meowed once, and the bell on the catnip sock went. So he's made technically appearances, but I'm not sure if the camera would have picked or the mic would have picked it up. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah. What is long glass? Oh, it's a Nerite snail. Fair enough. Oh, that's Missy Nanakara. Oh, where's Mr. Nanakara hiding? Oh, I don't know. Haas. He'll do that. He'll disappear for a couple of days and then he'll show up. Yeah. So some of these Limia now they're growing out. We've got some absolute stunners in there. Gonna be off. See you later, Yella. Hope you're good. Mary's doing wonderfully. Thank you, Marriott. Enjoying her job. Enjoying her wheels. Yes. Takes some keeping up with her now. I got used to walking slow to sort of maintain pace. Now she's got a wheel, she's off and gone. I'm like, just slow down. Yeah. See you later, Yella. enjoy sacrifice. So yeah, I'm I'm blaming the head wound on my running out of stuff to waffle about. I'll tell her you're happy for her. Nope, nearly knocked your drink over. Yeah, big hug for you, Marek. Bye, love. Um, oh, bless. Head wounds are indeed a biatch. I've had plenty of them over the years. At least this one hasn't fractured anything. And at least I didn't have to cycle straight home afterwards. That was a fun bike ride. Not. Toting all my fishing gear back from the lake, which was, yeah, about a 65-litre rucksack full. Then the rods and stuff on the crossbar of the bike. Bum that is single on the upside of finally getting your craft room. Yay! Craft room or lady cave? Well, it's a man cave. Why can't it be a lady cave? I mean, I know it sounds kind of perverse, but single just means you can mingle. Exactly. Big Pimpin', what up, y'all? See, now you can get yourself down the gym in your lycra. Flash a bit of cleavage, you can get all the guys chasing you. There you go. There's the plan. As you speak, Miss Shrimpin, that's the other thing that happened this week. Was it yesterday or Friday? Friday, I think. The little 15-litre Blue Dream shrimp tank that I had the Blue Dream shrimp and the Kubitai Rasboras in. Came back from doing some shopping. Look, thought, why is there water around the edge of the bottom rim in that? Oh, I'm not going there publicly with jokes about boys sleeping in your lady cave. Yeah, so I was sort of looking, there's water around the bottom plastic rim. I'm like, well, not noticed that before. I get a bit of kitchen roll, mop it all up. Think maybe I spilt some when I was filling it up, or the nerite snail in there got in the position and redirected the filter out of the tank. Hello, Rebecca. Researching crusty Asians tonight is demonstrating in a lab about them. No, that wasn't meant to be racist. That was meant to be a play on words. Yeah, so I mopped the water up, looked again about an hour later, and the water was back again. Howdy vibes. So I was like, right, there's something wrong there. Grab me torch, look around the edge. Yeah, all looks okay. Look around the back of the tank, and the mat that it was sitting on was drenched. So I was like, tank has sprung a leak. So yeah, it's Friday. I had to break down that tank. Thankfully, that's the one I was going to replace anyway to get a black water tank in there. So it's kind of serendipitous that that's the one that decided to go pop. It was only a tiny leak, but tiny leaks get worse. So spotting it early and doing something about it meant I didn't wake up to an empty tank and all the fish and shrimp dead. So yeah, the shrimp just went in with the shrimp colony, and the Kubitai rasboras went in with the apistos and super red bristles, and now I have a space. So part one of the plan to put a black water tank in is there. Now it's just all the bits that cost money. Well, we've got some of the bits that cost money. Because I got an email from PayPal, that's the one, saying that because my account was inactive, they were going to charge me. Yeah, exactly. It's a small tank with 15 litres. There's still a heck of a lot of water on the carpet. And did I ever decide what to put in the 15 flex? I kind of have. Now, at the moment, my thoughts are shift my clown plecos into there. So I've got a trio of clowns in a 9-gallon flex, which is where the other shrimp colony is. Dee Dee, darling, how are you? And because it will be lower pH, black water, blah, 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 hopefully the clown plecos will breed. I know, Sharpie after more plecos. They sell for more, so, you know, and they have smaller spawns, so it's not a problem. I can deal with 20 or 30 baby plecos quite easily. So those and the Nanacara anomala, I love that word, anomala, they're likely to go in there, and then probably, if I'm honest, just as some dithers, the Concussed macus aren't commonly bred. I think it's Picoltia. They're somewhat seasonal. Yeah, I did my research, and it's like they prefer softer, more acidic water. So that's my thinking on that anyway. If nothing else, it will drop the bio load in the 9-gallon flex. Clown plecos depends where you go. You can probably get them around here. The lowest I've seen them is around £12, which is what, about $15. I'll sell them at £25, which is 30, 32, $33, something like that. So they're not cheap, but you know, they're not ludicrously expensive. But anyway, so as I had said email from PayPal, I thought, well, actually after Clouds East Anglia might be a bit too far to go. I actually kind of come around here. Most places do have them. Taveram do. They keep them in stock. Maidenhead normally have some as well. So your local Maidenhead might have them. Exchange rate isn't what it used to be. No, it used to be a lot better until we had our shortest ever serving Prime Minister and Chancellor of the Exchequer put in the world's dumbest budget and crash the currency. Oh, you're gonna love vibes. You're gonna love Merritt's name. Merritt's accent. Oh, Ricky's here as well. Howdy, Ricky. And he got himself an expensive pleclet, an A star. Ooh, what do you get? Anyway, so I logged into my PayPal just so it's active, so I then get charged for not using it. And while I was there, I haven't noticed there was some money in there, which I didn't know I had. So I thought, well, screw you. If you are going to charge me, there's not going to be any money in there to charge. So I went on to Pro Shrimp and ordered up some catapa leaves and some other chunks, some teak leaves. Yes, they're folded in half. Teak trees have big leaves. So therefore the black watery tank. Royal Pleco, the colours are a bit different. Well, if you want to know, Rebecca is here, and she is pretty much an expert on plex and the like. So Miss Freshwater Ichthyology will be able to tell you what you have, no doubt. Jeremy sent his order car parts from a shop in the UK. If they mess with me, can I burn a couch? Yeah. Yeah, as long as you do some water changes, that's fine. Yeah. Shows how much I know. I thought you were Australian. I, Weirdly, I get a lot of that from Americans. They think I'm Australian. I don't quite know what about my accent would make people think I'm Australian. Perhaps it's because I don't speak with the English accent that you hear on TV, like Downton Abbey or anything. The perceived English. I mean, one does not speak with that kind of accent because one has a much rougher accent. Apparently, Becca's Irish. Yeah, your botanics and shrimp food from Pro Shrimp. My shrimp just eat with the fishy, so I don't tend to worry about with uh, buying shrimp food. I just chuck in some of what the fish are eating, or just feed the fish that are in the tank that the shrimp happen to be in. The ZZ Top Beard needs to come back. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, it'd cover up all this. The problem is, it's all gone grey now, Schmitty. It would look like Demon Santa. Uh, Oaken Beach. Yeah, they are. Yeah, basically big enough to smoke. I don't know what teak leaves would smoke like. Yeah, I knew, or no, oak leaves are safe for a tank. Well, I was wondering about other kind of native species. So beech, if I can find those, I can use beech leaves. That's good to know. Most British accent experience I've got is MD tanks. I've never heard you say think instead of think. That's because my accent isn't quite as common as his. I'm a little further north. I'm not going to knock the guy. We all have our. I don't see him say brilliant either. Yeah, I'm not going to knock people for their accents because bloody hell, yeah. But then I I don't say crikey very often like Rebecca does. Uh, Leave the thinking to me. Don't apologise. Yeah. I've got a mutt accent. It's a mix of several different accents, and I just kind of accidentally, not without choosing, purposefully, um, I pick up all the lazy parts of the accents of the various places I've lived. Half my family on my father's side is in the UK. Ah, there we go. Hello, Holly. You think your accent sounds West Country? It's not. To me, it doesn't sound West Country. It sounds a little further northeast than West Country. It's not Midlands. Um, it sounds like just the west of London, whereas no, yeah, I am. I do have a generally southern accent, and yeah, not London. I'm Hertfordshire originally. John says, sure, posher than royalty. Sure. Um, I'm about as unposh as they come. I are working class, and I only work part time, so that makes me lower than working class because I don't work full time. Um, yeah, so there's Hertfordshire, uh, South Wales, Norfolk, Wolverhampton, bit of Merkin, bit of London. There's all sorts coming at my accent. What? Indeed. Oh yeah, Schmidt, I know how much you can hear how much my accent has changed over the years compared to what it was when I was early teens. I mean, it's dropped quite a bit and a bit croaky today, but you know, that might have something to do with the fact I've been smoking for over 30 years. Yeah, definitely not posh. And I will say it again because every time someone says passing through Presic or Prestwick, we'll go with Presic. On a work trip, holy smokes for you guys. That's tough to understand. Yeah, I mean, there's a modelling group that I used to be, I'm still in, I just don't join the Hangout anymore. We used to have Hangouts, like the old Google Hangout thing, Zoom meetings now, I suppose. And there was one of the guys was broad Ouija, full on Glaswegian. And most of the time it was okay. But once he'd had a few dozen, he's from Glasgow, so he didn't just have a few. Most of us actual English people who are used to those accents had to get one of the other Scottish guys to translate into English so we could understand what the other one was saying. Where I live in the US, people in most of Maryland don't have an accent. If you go 3 hours away to South Maryland, you can hardly understand them. Ah, a Marylander. So not too far away from Alien World Aquatics or Alien World Airsoft. Another Scot. Yep. Oh, got your visa interview in the morning. Yeah, get to bed early and have a good night, Ricky, and good luck with the visa interview. Don't tell them you know me, and you'll be fine. Grew up going to Deal Island. Is it Deal Island or Dealey Island? You never can tell with American pronunciations. What? Oh, that's random. Sometimes get a little redneck. Deal. Ah, there we go. Because what I find with American pronunciations is sometimes you pronounce every single letter in the word and make it twice as long as it actually needs to be to say. And other times you completely miss letters and it sounds completely different to how it's spelt. Not the Annapolis deal, the Eastern Shore deal. Enjoy your dinner, Marco? I'm sure it'll be something way classier than whatever I'm going to have when I've finished. Cornish pasty, I think. Microwaved for a couple of minutes with ketchup. But yeah, I mean, there are enough significant differences between American English and English these days that it can take some getting. It can be a bit confuddling sometimes, but I usually get there fairly rapidly. Generally because I hang around and watch a lot of American stuff, so I get to understand it. I'm even getting to understand a Southern accent now. There are only two stringed instruments you can't use a vibrato technique. Yeah, I'm going to guess one of them is going to be a dulcimer, and the other one's probably a piano, or maybe a hurdy-gurdy. The Southern American accent is crazy. It is. It's very calming and relaxing. Piano and harpsichord. Yeah, I'd like to see someone try and get vibrato out of a hammered dulcimer. I suppose technically, if you're really, really proficient, you could bounce the hammer very gently after you hit it once and go. But the harpsichord. Why does that make me think of harpy chode? Oh, I don't know. Um, yeah, the piano and its kind of derivatives are weird in that they're a stringed instrument. They're also a percussion instrument. It's an interesting combination. And then if you take away the keyboard and just use hammers to hit the strings, you get a dulcimer. Tried to move my piano across the living room and it broke through the floor. Ooh, ooh, pianos are heavy. I take it that's going to be staying there for a while then, Holly. I wouldn't want to try lifting a piano. Um, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people who bought a piano or had one and not thought about whether the floors will actually support it. Yeah, it wasn't a tank. Yeah. Thing is, the piano's worth way more than a fish tank. Met organ players, and at school I had professional recorder players give talks on why it's a useful instrument. I mean, it is a useful instrument to learn because it's relatively simple for a youngster, and it teaches you about chords and structures and scales and things like that, which you can then use on anything else you decide to play. Lifted Howard's grand on Turps, and part of the stage it was the heaviest. No, he uses digital. Exactly. It takes a very, very keen ear to tell the difference between a keyboard and a piano these days. It's getting very close. Uh, Family's already always had electric pianos due to weight. Can't play, tried, failed, can't play anything. I used to play quite a few different instruments. I haven't played any for years now. Too many broken fingers and arthritic and stuffs. Um, yeah, I used to play quite a few. I never heard any stories of someone going through the floor, but no, it has to be cases. Probably too embarrassed to talk about it. Oh yeah, if you got a big stage show, yeah, the grand piano, you can't beat it. Um, Only one of the wheels that went through, luckily. Whew. So you might be able to jack it out and then very carefully move it and replace the floorboard. Yeah, scary enough. I bet it made an interesting noise as well when it did drop. Beautiful white grand piano. White grand piano. Probably not the best idea for a rock band. But even the most instrument smashing kind of band would leave the grand piano alone. One thing to smash up a guitar or a drum kit or a keyboard. They're relatively easy to replace and they're not that expensive. Um, yeah, I think you can get, well, I know you can get air jacks. They're basically a bladder of air, just a bladder you pump up with a foot pump or something and it inflates and then it will lift whatever is on top of it. Wonder how many pianos go unused as decor. Probably about 90% of them. I mean, it's like a lot of people with fish tanks. They have a fish tank, and it is pretty much an ornament that you just put a bit of food in every couple of days. Then it goes green, and you buy some chemicals to put in it to get rid of the green. And then after a while, and you haven't changed the water and done anything, everything dies. So you strip it all down, bleach it all out, fill it back up again, and buy some more fish to put in. Keyboard players think Nightwish 2, going to classically drained Sticks music is not about smashing guitars. Yeah, I know, but I'm pretty sure at some points the Who have had grand pianos on stage and the guitars and the drums got smashed, but the piano got left well alone. Even Nine Inch Nails didn't smash their piano. Okie doke, Marek. Take some tablets, my dearie, have a lay down. If that don't work, have a nice hot bath. That'll make you feel better. Yeah, hugs and kisses back. Mwah. No pics from the bath. Don't. No. Oh, pianos in Kelowna. Keep them well tuned. That is the other thing. The amount of pianos in houses. So good people have one because it's a good thing to put like pot plants and things on, and it looks classy and cultured. People can't actually play the damn things. You go around and go, oh, can I have a? Oh yeah, and you realise just how out of tune it is. You're like, yeah, I'm going to leave that. Whatever I try and play is going to sound bad. It's going to sound like Les Dawson. I can't even remember where my guitar is at the moment. I think it might be up in the man cave, leaning up against something. Yeah, the amount of decor to look cultured. Books, yes. There's people that buy books because it's a good book. We'll put it in the thing and people will think we're intelligent and cultured. No, because what they'll do is they'll see the book in the bookcase. They saw the books in the bookcase, and not one of them has got a bent spine. What does that tell you? That tells you they've never been read. All my books have been read more than once. Even A Brief History of Time, I've got that somewhere and I've read that. And I understood it. If you paid a buck for it, Holly, then yeah, fair enough. If nothing else, it makes a good pot plant stand, as I said. And it looks nice. But yeah, so the amount of people who do have them, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them are because they're in the house and people can't actually get them out of the house when they're in there, or can't lift the bloody things. Happy birthday, Funk. Fibber, you can't read. How am I reading the chat then? Shock, horror. And Funk can't. I mean, it's been so long now that Funk has completely forgotten where the caps lock button is. Hands are so dried and cracked up right now, it hurts to flick my lighter. Smoking weed isn't supposed to be painful. I hate lotions. Yeah, I don't get dry and cracked skin because I've basically got leather on my hands at this point. Keep trying to talk myself out of putting a fish tank on top of it, but I may do that. It's one of the things that the piano can take the weight. It's just whether the floor can take the weight. Because the piano is putting all its weight on the 4 small wheels, or 6, depending on the design. I mean, if the piano just sat flat on the floor, it'd be fine. If you say just the weight of the piano is going through the floor, you might not want to add some extra weight to it. or you might find it suddenly drops a couple of inches. They've got some amazing books, first editions of Dune and the Silmarillion. Read them. It takes days to decide what to get rid of for space. Yeah, that's like me with models. There are other model makers who carefully pack the old ones away into boxes and lots of packaging and safe and all stored delicately up in the loft. Me, I go, right, what's the oldest one? What am I sick of looking at now? Ah, that one. Chuck it in the bin. Put the new one there, job done. Yeah, I've got nothing too interesting as books. I mean, interesting, yes, but not historical. Well, everyone shares a birthday with Funk, because Funk's birthday is every day. Funk is now actually older than Methuselah and Job. Don't it? 64 books at a local library sale. Well done. I mean, if you're done with them, you're not going to read them. Books do not go in the bin. Warhammer models is randomly left on the shelf. One tyranny with a broken leg and dragon needs repainting. Yeah, I've got a fair pile of them just sat there on the coffee table, just trying to figure out what to do with them. Grab the cami rah. Let's have a look. See. Oh, we're not tangled up. So yeah. How far can we go? That far. So you got a Mark 1 Spitfire, Mark 2 Terminator, Florent, Chimera, Great Horned Rat Demon, Imperial Knight, Eldar Knight, Toon Tank KB2, and a King George V. And then, yeah, on top of the DVD shelves, there's just tanks for days. Up there, more tanks. Yeah. I suppose I could really take the mickey one day with someone else. How many tanks have you got? And actually count all the model ones as well. That would be quite amusing. Plenty impressive books on ichthyology too. I think Rebecca probably owns most of them. Jeremy's grandfather flew Spitfires in the RAF. Great Horned Rat Demon, not Rap Demon. It's not R. Kelly. Don't unravel 2.3 miles of Christmas lights. Well, ravel them back up then, because it's not time yet. You got another month before we have to put the Christmas lights up, Funk. Jeez. These library on Zebra Daniels alone is huge. Don't mention tanks. I'm traumatized enough from visiting the tank museum. But did you hug Tog? Everyone loves Tog, because Tog is the party tank. Literally one of the world's worst ever tanks. Yeah, I haven't put them up since I moved. I haven't had Christmas decorations since I lived on my own. Let's put it that way. And I've lived on my own since I was 18. And all you do is just tell the kids that fat dude in the white beard and the red outfit is just an invention of the Coca-Cola Corporation. It's not real. And that you're Christian and you're no longer going to celebrate a pagan festival. Job done. I don't have a wife to bug me. That's how it's going to come. Oh, you got a wife to bug you? Oh, yeah. But then Mary doesn't put Christmas decorations up either because, the kids aren't kids anymore. they want lights and trees, they can stick them in their rooms. It's just one of those things. You put them up for a week and a half, and then you take them down again. It's kind of pointless. And that's if you're being generous. I mean, personally, I'd put them up Christmas Eve, take them down Boxing Day, because Christmas is over. Get rid of them, get back to normal. A lot fewer books on catfish, but there's a lot more catfish than there are zebra danningoos. Second year not putting up a single crimble decoration. Haven't been able to see my children, so what's the point? Yeah, I'm sorry you haven't been able to see your children, but yeah, you do what's best for you. We all do. I have known people who've got spare rooms. These weird people who don't have hobbies or pastimes or lives. And basically what they do is they saran wrap or cling wrap their tree and just put the whole tree into the spare room out of the way and then just bring it out again and plug it back in and job done. Seems a sensible option to me if you have the space. Yeah, a lot of those books probably are in German, which is relatively easy to understand. You just read it loud and angry and in a German accent, and it will make sense. If one's got a 4 and a 10-year-old, so they're stuck doing it for a few more years. Oh, Jeremy's a 1 and 4. So you can get away without doing it, Jeremy. Just tell him it doesn't exist. It's one of the things. I'm not a parent, so I will bow to parents' better judgments on this, right? But as parents, you spend a lot of time teaching your kids that lying is bad, not to tell fibs, don't lie, punishing them for lying, not telling the truth, right? And then you go telling them about a Santa Claus and a tooth fairy and an Easter bunny that lays eggs. Hold on a minute. R/hold up. What? So you tell them not to lie and then you lie to them. I fail to see the logic there. Yeah. Becca's got fur babies. I've got fin babies. Yeah, I think I was 5 when I realised Santa Claus handwriting on my presents was actually my mum's handwriting. So yeah, I was like 5 when I twigged that it was all a lie. I think it was like the next, yeah, it was, because it was when I was 6, and it was like, oh, what would you like from Santa Claus this year? Santa Claus isn't real. The presents come from you. I'm not a Grinch. Just don't think you should lie to your children, and I'm not a Christian. Also not a pagan. Also not a big capitalist. Also don't agree with wasting a bunch of money for one day. Yeah, someone's got to keep at least a semblance of common sense about these things. Let's be honest, people will still want the same Christmas they have every year, and people will spend the same amount of money that they do every year. They'll get all the same things, all them things that don't get eaten or thrown away or not drunk, or pointless presents that nobody actually wanted. Then they will find themselves in debt and in trouble in the new year when they get all their energy bills come through and the credit card bill. And yeah, that won't be happening to me, at least. I'll be the one in the new year who's going out and buying a new fish tank. If I can last that long. Ollie, don't have kids. Last year wasn't exactly the best Christmas I've ever had. So I've kind of lost this year. Well, big hug. Um, yeah, I mean it's down to the individual. It's down to what you like, and you know we do what's best for us and our circumstances and our situations. And Funk thinks I'm going to get a visit from another ghost. I already got two, so another one's not going to make much difference. 3 of my guinea pigs are getting a vet trip for Christmas. They somehow got mites. Oh, poor bunny or guineas. I said bunnies because we were looking at some very, very, very cute bunnies today in the LFS. There was one that I have no idea what exactly kind of mutt it was. But it was the size of a Dutch giant, but it was super floofy and a lop. So yeah, it was just massive floofy. Christianity was a festival well before Christmas was a festival well before Christianity. They just adopted it from the Romans, who adopted it from the pagans, who adopted it from the Celts, and whoever first celebrated the midwinter solstice, which is probably tens of thousands of years ago. Um, and whatever religion that is, I'm not part of. So I don't celebrate Ramadan because I ain't Jewish. I don't celebrate other stuff because I'm not of that religion. Quite simple, really. Um, and hell, I'm not even fussed about my own birthday. The older you get, the less you are. But even when I was younger, I wasn't that bothered about it. To me, it feels kind of weird that other people make more of a fuss about like my birthday than I do. But other people get more excited about it than me. To be real, the holidays do suck until the it comes, then it's nice. Ah, well, I mean, if you're going to get a visit from Pennywise, then excellent. Pre-Victorian Christmas songs are actually interesting. Yeah. I do try and forget all the Christmas songs. I generally listen to some death metal. It's far more apt for my general vibe at that time of year. Is I have bad memories anyway, as well, from that time of year, so I try and avoid it. Which is why, even though I work retail, I've actually managed to get the week leading up to Christmas off this year. Melody, most older songs, classic or whatever they call classical music, has a lot more in common with metal than a lot of people realize. I mean, you could think of metal music as modern day classical music, and it would fit quite well. Anthrax or Slayer. Perhaps not Anthrax and Slayer. Something with a little bit more complication to it. Um, But yeah, when you've got metal bands going out with full orchestra, and I don't just mean Metallica, Epica have done it, a bunch of others have done it. G'day, Mark. How you doing, you bunyip botherer? And Jellystone's here as well. Oh dear, everyone's turning up. So they would fit very well with pre-Victorian Christmas songs. Yeah, Raining Blood. That'd be a good one to listen to at Christmas. It'd certainly be more amusing to listen to than God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen or Good King Wenceslas. Yes, I can say it properly. I just like to mispronounce it. Like Subosolatus. I like mispronouncing that on purpose as well. Subosolatus. Because I'm silly. And there's a difference between being able to correctly pronounce a word and doing it wrong just for comedic value and just not being able to do it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm awesome at these things. A lot of it is classical music in a very Rachmaninoff fashion. Yeah, Rachmaninoff, Wagnerian, bit Tchaikovsky. Yeah, it's all in there. You can hear it if you listen closely. It's certainly not pop music. We're going in 4/4 time for 3.5 minutes, and there will be a key change for the final chorus. Yeah, right. Yeah, yes, I am a bit of a music snob. Hell, even back in high school, when all the cool kids were listening to the cool new bands, and it was me listening to the Cure and the Smiths. That's why I stayed out of the music chat at school. Because the stuff I liked wasn't cool. Whatever was cool and happening in the late 80s, early 90s. Because I mean, grunge didn't hit until I'd left school. So, yeah. Pre-Britpop era. So it's the back end of hair metal, which I never really got into too much. Hey, still am a relatively dark person when it comes to taste. So there were the people who were listening to Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue, and then there's me sat there listening to Faith and 17 Seconds by The Cure. So, you know, takes all sorts. Hey, I listen. Only Tiffany was cute. Love to hear Megadeth cover that type of material. Fit Dave Mustaine's voice well. Yeah. That's if Dave Mustaine could stop taking himself seriously for a couple of minutes. He might do it. I think he had a sense of humour failure in the mid-90s and hasn't come back from it since. I mean, as you think about that, I was thinking the other day about the whole Metallica and Napster thing that happened way back when, and how music is bought or listened to now. It was like, yeah, that kind of didn't work, did it? I might have got some money out of Napster, but the way it's all gone. That's why Dave Ellison has other bands. Yes, because he can't stand to be around Dave Mustaine that long. Yeah. But, you know, some people get along, some people grate on people. It's just down to what you like, who you like, what you're willing to put up with. I know there are people who can't stand me. There's probably a few of them in chat. Or who I know Funk can't stand me. Um, no, it's all good. Funk and I are bros. We just wind each other up constantly. See you later, Schmitty. You have a good one. Stay safe, bud. Don't work too hard. And don't do anything I wouldn't do or haven't done. Otherwise, you will end up in jail. I'll do half the stuff I have done, you'll end up in jail. Yeah, I just didn't get caught. Yeah, rock on, brother. I give Doggo a fuss as well. Ahoy, Silver Queef, lurking, watching 2 streams and cleaning an aviary. Yeah, you have my sympathies for cleaning out aviaries. That's not an enjoyable job. Been there, done that. This jail stuff. Yeah, I've never been. I've never even been arrested. Yeah. Came close a couple of times. Managed to either talk my way out of it or run away. Well, I mean, technically, I did lose my bike license, but I'm not counting that. Um, I'm kind of keeping road. I try and blank that. Keep the road law separate from the rest. Pigeon and dove, extra nasty. Oh yeah, yes. Tree rat, flying rats are nasty little squitters. Yes. Tossing a drunk tank once as a kid for being stoned. Yeah, I never got caught doing that. Enjoy dealing with crap from 3 directions. Yeah. And you can guarantee it if you're cleaning out an aviary. You will get pooped on your back, and just as you've cleaned it, they will all go all over the floor again, just because. And Chewie got tossed in a drunk tank when he had a seizure. Yeah, that sounds about right. He's having a seizure. He must be on something. Mr. Bolan lighter seconds carried on smoking in. Yeah, wasn't even drunk. In a way, it's a shame you're Canadian, because if you're American, I'm damn sure you would have sued them for that. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't wander around and look at all the birdies today because, well, the friendly macaws have been sold, and there's one in there that is hand reared blue macaw, blah 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 blah. Do not put your fingers into the cage. Like, right, yeah, you're gonna sell that one, aren't you? Yeah, hand reared and aggressive. So, yeah, we'll leave that one be. I mean, I'm not scared of birds or parrots. I can read their body language. So I put my finger up just outside the bars the other time, like that. So if it bites, it doesn't get anything particularly bad. But yeah, it came walking over all kind of friendly and nice, and then it just the way it opened its mouth told me, "You're not going to come and give me a kiss or a lick. You're going to come and take a chunk out." And I still got the scarf from the last time McCaw took a chunk out of me. Had the phone for the police were nice enough to give me a ride to the band house because I had the seizure and missed the band van. Uh, yeah, they were trying to be nice and not get sued, I think, Chewy. Birds in particular with people. Yeah, they are. Birds are very, um, very, very choosy on who they accept as a friend. Um, definitely. Some animals will love everyone, like dogs. So just most dogs, if they're a friendly, floofy, flumpy dog, I just accept anyone. Like, oh, you're going to give me a fuss? Yeah, you're my friend. I think I got molested by a rather large Rottweiler Saturday, so didn't bother me at all. Gave a good fuss and a scratch. We made friends. And the bird world has a lot of cockatoos with psychological issues. Some like scratches, and one just wants to hold someone's hand. Yeah, cockatoos again. They're ones that, as we talk about with fish, sometimes are they getting too inbred? Perhaps is it the captive population is being bred and bred and bred and bred and bred, and there's brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles and all sorts going on. And Silver Queefer's 54. Sorry, spilled water on my keyboard and it started typing stuff. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've done it before. I started typing with wet hands on a phone keyboard, and you hit the button where the button would be if it was a keyboard, and it goes blur, and there's a blob of water on there, and it just keeps going. It goes, yeah, what? Wipe water off, delete. And apparently caps locking is on there. 36, 1986, baby. Oh, you are, baby. I've got a decade on you. Jeez. What was I doing 86 at 10? I was in middle school. I was, yeah, 1986. This time in 1986, I was not far off of being put into foster care. I had no idea about it. A mere neophyte. Well, Rebecca's a little baby. I've got t-shirts older than Rebecca. Hell, I've probably got socks older. Mandy Pandy! Hello, my dear. Hope you're well. See, that's what I managed to do it myself. Oh, pardon me. Get off my lawn, you young. Get off my land! If you're proper Norfolk. Young hooligans. There's a video on cichlids that came out the year I was born, 1957. Oh dear, Rebecca just made Mandy feel old. Damn, you started young, Mandy. Doing the maths. Because I know how old you are. I don't even think I knew what it was for at that age. There's probably people here who've got fish that are older than Rebecca. You know you're old when your great niece is having kids. Oh, God. Yeah, that's going to be when it hits Mary most, and then probably me is when her kids start having sprogs. When there's a grand crotch goblin running around. Had fish close to my age. Well, I mean, Sparky died this year. She was 20. So Sparky the cat was only a year younger than you, Mandy. So, you know. Mandy? Rebecca, sorry. Yeah, Sparky was 20. Was she 24 or 25? No, Sparky might have been the same age. I think Sparky was 25. Mind you, she was in a lot worse physical state at 25. Bless her. She was a lovely little kitty. Yeah, she was. She was a sweetie, and it was literally the last 2 or 3 months, last couple of months, just she went downhill rapidly. And the bonus son would have made you a grandzenny. Oh, grandma. I sort of wind up Laurie. I say, no, you got to change your channel name. You're not Monster Fish Gal anymore. You're Monster Fish Grandma. I don't think that went down too well. Aye, it's true. And oh yeah, anyone that didn't know Emily, okay, Lamol, ADHD Aquatics. She had her baby this week, young Waylon. Mum and baby doing fine. So anyone that didn't know hasn't got her on Facebook. Hasn't been seeing all the videos and the pictures and the bits that you probably shouldn't be showing on Facebook. Yeah, exactly. The stories from Zenny would make a good focus on. Well, there's some man. Oh, Grandy. Yeah, Grandy sounds good. Not planning kids for another 10 years. Too much hassle and money. Yeah, sensible idea. I'm not planning on them ever. Unless, as I've said before, unless there are some out there that I'm not aware of. In which case they're over 18 now, so not my problem. Yeah, so I'm on Rico's list, so hopefully at some point Rico will be doing a focus on me, and that could be an interesting one. I think the people who haven't attended my streams probably don't know too much about me, and they could be in for a bit of a shock. I'd have a ton more kids if I didn't have to watch them all day. There you go. You just need to win the lottery and you can hire a nanny. Southern USA band. I was more impressed with the snow job concerts. Almost looked Canadian. Yeah, it's like when people from like Newcastle, Geordies, you can always tell a Geordie because they'll be wandering around, it'll be snowing, and they'll still have their shorts and string vest on or having a barbecue. I'm not Geordie, but I still, because I don't wear a string vest, but yeah, I'll still be wandering around in shorts. Snow job was the concert series done at ski resorts. Well, obviously, yes. Too easy a pun to give up. You can't not do that pun. Well, Shelley's have found something interesting to eat. Hope it's not another Shelley. Oh, now they're all hiding up. Okay. What's going on? What are you guys eating? Oh well. Strange creatures. Yeah. If you've not had Shelley's and you've got a spare tank, get some Shelley's. because they are endlessly entertaining to watch. That's why I put the Shelly tank where I can't. It's literally the one tank I have that I can't see from my armchair. Poor American watchers of my focus on won't know what's hit them. They probably won't. Just part one with Melissa, spoiled play indoors with Melissa Etheridge and the Goo Goo Dolls. Goo Goo Dolls played outdoors. Well, when the Goo Goo Dolls played out, I forget which concert it was, but absolutely threw it down with rain. And all the organisers and everyone was saying, "No, stop! No, you got to come back. No, you can't play because it's raining." And I basically said, if we stop, we're not going to be allowed to come back into Buffalo ever again. It was like the crowd are out there getting wet. They're having fun. They're taking it. We got to as well. Yeah, that's very much like the mindset of Nine Inch Nails at 94. Was it 94 Woodstock? Where it was just an absolute mud bath, so they got covered in mud and did their show, which went down very well with the crowd. Still want gold ockies. Here they're tiny little hate machines. Yeah, they pretty much are. Wait until there's another fully open tank situation and you just keep replacing fish. This is it. You got to kind of stop replacing them in one tank and then rehome them in other tanks, and then you have an empty tank, or you can flutter your eyelashes nicely at Mr. Zen and say there's these gorgeous little fish that we haven't got that I'd love to have. I just haven't got a tank for them. Drop subtle hints like that. Not too subtle, because us men don't get really subtle hints. Yeah, they can be a bit rapey, a bit like guppies in that respect. But yeah, I would say the Similis and the Maltese are friendly little fisheries. So the Ocellatus and the Brevis tend to be more aggressive. Apparently there is a giant shell dweller as well, which would be cool. Sean would be the person to ask about them. I can't remember what the name of them is. But God knows, you probably need conch shells to keep those. But yeah, they're just endlessly fascinating to watch. So right now, one is spitting, digging and spitting sand out, but it's spitting it into another one's territory. So that other one is picking up the sand that's been spat and spitting it back again. Simbu dwarfs might be. I can't remember. Let's say I've had a concussion since I heard that one. Basic shellies are ugly to you. The Ocellatus are pretty. Yeah, the Ocellatus are very pretty, the gold and the blue. Let's say, who can say these ones are ugly? Gorgeous little fisheries. Super fun and friendly. There you go. Let's see. Oh, and there's some bubbies over the back there. Yeah, it's a little cloud of. There's some up the back there. There's some down there. But yeah, gorgeous little fish. I mean, who can't love a fishy like that? Well, wrong way. Especially all coloured up like they are right now. All stripy and full of amusement. And male plecos, such gentlemen. Yeah. Although in my case, to be fair, it's usually the females are asking to go in the caves to get rid of the extra weight. Now, camera's doing the weird focus thing again. There we go. Copper and coppery brown and grey stripes. They're pretty little fishes with the yellow and the blue eyes. See if Mr. Nanakara's out and about yet, because they don't get much prettier than him. Where's he hiding up still? He's hiding up still. Might be on eggs. Don't know. Another SKP plecklet. Bunch of baby limia swimming around all over the place. You alright, Bert? Hey, you gonna come and say hello, Bert? Yeah, you good boy. You've been donking your head again, haven't you? Hey? You're all excited to get your pellets, weren't you? And he jumped a bit too hard for the pellets and smacked his head on the brace. Need colour. Oh, the limias aren't exactly brightly coloured. They tend to mostly silvery with a few black bits and yellow bits, but they're rather pretty. Especially when they get all coloured up and aggravated. All pregnant females. The way you're wiggling about, you're about to drop again and all. Oh, God. Back to the Cave comes to mind by Leopold, or In Caves All Cats Are Grey by The Cure. And we just cleared 20 of the blooming things out of there. We're going to have to move a bunch more over. Huh? You're going to have more tank mates again? Yep. And then once we've done that, then it's a case of, yeah. What's shrimping doing? Excited, found a local mature pair of gold ocelots for $20. That's a steal, especially if you know they're a pair. Want some fry someday. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. So with the Similis, I can leave the fry in there; they're perfectly safe. Weirdly, the Limia fry are safe in there, and there's a rainbow fish and a couple of dwarf cichlids and a pair of acaras, and they don't seem to be. None of them seem to be eating the babies. Mr. Threadfin acaras, they are pretty fish. Still don't know what happened to their bodies. Two gone, so not sure. Don't know if they died naturally. Yeah, they decay really rapidly. It all depends on what's in with them as well. If there's any plecos in there, cories in there, snails in there, the bodies would just completely vanish overnight. New place doing a fish store, fish room. Cool. Now it goes 6 Cordo punks from Daniken the other day too. Oh, Cordo punks are cool. And that's nothing wrong with multis. Multis are cool. I bought mine as multis, but they turned out to be Similis, which I'm kind of glad of, because being missold means as multis are relatively common and Similis aren't, yeah, I get twice as much for a Similis as I would for a multi, so I'm not complaining. Pictus cats, stir-by snails, loaches, barbs, and yeah, anything that dies in that tank is going to disappear in hours. Worked with a few different Tanganyika cichlids as a store I worked in. We like to import in lesser seen fishes. Well, this is it. Oh, sorry, I'm an itchy belly. And my time's up. But yeah, certain stores like my LFS, because of the kind of store it is and what it does, it caters to general sales. So because of the local water conditions, there's quite a lot of African cichlids, a lot of live bearers, some tetras. It's your general stuff. You're not going to find kind of oddities or less common stuff. But because of that, the smaller stores that are close by all stock with kind of different and oddity stuff. Admittedly, they cost more, but then I can sell the ones I breed of the different and oddity stuff to the LFS, and then they stock them and they sell them. Yeah, so I wouldn't blame the Tetras, but they might have had a nibble. Because my neon Tetras beat up my better. So there we go. Anyway, my time is up. I need to take some painkillers because my head is throbbing, and I need to visit the little boy's room. So thank you to everyone for turning up. And though she's not here, I know she does watch the replay. Thank you, Alison. Most appreciated for the super thank. As I said, it will go towards the new tank. But yeah, stay safe, everyone. Don't do a dumb like me. Enjoy your hobbies. Have a good week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ooh. Meet.